retail banking, corporate banking, business finance, banking operations, capital markets, risk, compliance, analytics, product, digital banking, loads of choices. And each one demands very different strengths, very different growth path has offers very different growth paths, mindsets, and even lifestyle. We have four alumni who together represent almost the full spectrum of modern banking careers. Branch banking leadership at Axis Bank to business finance inside HSBC to global banking operations across Deutsche Bank, Goldman Sachs, and Société Générale to the evolution of private banking through Yes Bank.
During that time, we didn't had so much of clarity that what are the segments of banking are there. The only immediate thing we could think about is retail or corporate banking at that point in time. When we look at today's scenario and when we expect any students from the college to join us, there are different segments. Of course, corporate banking, retail banking is there, but apart from that, there is a huge scope and there is a lot of job opportunity available into risk management area. We have a lot of opportunity available in ESG. We have a lot of opportunities available into GCCs, where there are a whole lot of gamut of stuff is happening. With the current technology getting implemented into banking sector very, very heavily, you can look at the data management, data quality, and AI, ML, and all of that as well, right? So as a student, I think it will be very good that students should also start deciding at some point in time that which sector they want to explore.
In a banking career, what I feel, suppose you take example of me, I started career in a sales background. Now gradually I have developed myself in sales also. Then I thought ki in a banking, compliance is more important. For that, you need to start with some operation job, customer relationship management. It's better you start the career in banking, in branch banking, because you have so many things to learn through customer interaction, through process, through compliance. So better you start in customer relationship management. In banking, the most important thing is that CRM, customer relationship management, day-to-day banking. It's a start with your communication skills, your alertness, your IQ, your perception, how you are handling the customer. Soft skill is very important in these days banking scenario.
When I began, so banking was more people oriented. Obviously, the approvals were slower. The patience was also higher in the customers. Today, when you talk of technology-driven banking, it is not completely technology-driven, especially in chunks where NRI banking is involved or where wealth management is involved. You need a human intervention. Earlier, banking was not, it wasn't very transparent. Today, the compliance is very strong. Compliance wasn't too strong back then, which was both an advantage and a disadvantage. Of course, the HNIs have to now, it is not that they're at the backseat, but of course, they also have to comply with the rules, which of course we would just let go. But yeah, they were a little easy, but now it is not like that. I'm sure Piyush would, in branch banking at least, it is like that now. Wealth side is a little different, but I would say branch banking, yes. Processes are stringent, compliance is stringent. It's more technology oriented. A lot of retail customers don't need a human face now. Earlier on, a branch manager would know each and every customer of the branch. Back in 2004, you would know every customer of the branch. They would walk in for some or the other service. Today, it happens on a mobile screen.
I was in some kind of dilemma that I was not able to decide that what exactly I want to start with. I was in campus. I was interviewed for India Bulls. I was also got an offer from Haldiram Export as well. So largely my focus was, if I have to sum it up in 2 points, were either export import sector, or I wanted to get into technologies. It happened that I got in got into Infosys, and it was on Infosys, though it was at that time it was Infosys BPO, but it was more of a technology work. There's a guy who understands the technology, who understands the other side of the operation and doing a middleman job. Those roles were not quite famous. Either you go into completely consulting, and those were very few companies which were doing, like TCS, Infosys, Wipro. They were the only ones who were doing it, and they had those opportunity. That's when I decided that I want to explore banking, getting into it to understand that how the trade is booked, how it's settled, what are the actually some of the tools are available which is commonly used by the large banks to do the settlement or to do the booking process of the trade. So I think I did prep for that, and that was the entry point for me to get into Deutsche Bank. If I have to grow fast, I need to keep moving and learning new aspects of finance, and then keep doing those roles as well. Just knowing is not good enough. When I was asked to join Goldman, I was given a completely different role: manage the operation, look at the international businesses, and also manage the client relationship. So it was like so diverse. Goldman was very ahead in terms of when it comes to technology implementation and strategy. I was told that, so just an example, sorry, I'm taking too much time, but they were shifting from having a tech division separately or a consulting division or a business manager separately. They were trying to amalgamate all of that into the operation side, where they said that, you can have your own STEM resources, find out your own development area, develop it yourself and improve it. And I moved into a completely new role, which was again offered by Société Générale to me, which was happening first time ever in India, a client relationship manager. All the relationship manager roles in an international bank in India, all the big banks, they were just doing the RM job. They were not really talking to client. That was a eureka for me that, here is the actual money comes from. This Société Générale, this is the money where it comes from. This is what lakhs and lakhs of employees are getting paid from. Partially, I'm responsible for all this AI bubble in financial world right now, which is causing a lot of job elimination. So yeah, moving towards the data management and the data quality side of it, how to improve that to do the operation job better, how can we do more job with less people, very quickly understanding the technology and quickly applying myself to that as well. I got quickly couple of certification internally from the organization. Also, I did it on my personal investment. I did couple of certifications to ensure that I understand that technology, and very quickly applying into work to ensure that that pace keeps me on roll or keeps my career going. Yeah.
So I started my career in 2004 with branch banking, but within 2 months I was moved to NRI banking, considering the learning that you spoke of. That was so fast that I think somebody found that out and I was moved to NRI banking. From there on, I became a branch manager. Then motherhood happened, so I moved on to functional and behavioral tradings, audits. So life was a little away from the sales and operations. Moved to a cluster head role. Then, and these roles are over banks, for ICICI, Kotak, and Yes Bank. And then from a cluster head to a regional head, so I managed Delhi and Karnataka. There's everything that I've seen in banking, from NRI banking, branch banking, wealth management, MNC banking, everything, all seasons. And trust me, it is really, I've seen everything in banking now. But I'd still say I've not seen everything in banking. The everything still remains. Don't chase designations, because if you're chasing designations, you're not learning anything. All that you're aiming at is, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and I'm not going to do this. So, having a fixation that you're not going to do something is actually prohibiting you from learning something new. Whatever comes your way, you should always, attempt. You should always take it in your stride, learn and move forward. So banking is obviously, it's about learning, unlearning, relearning. So every time that you're learning something new in banking, is you're gaining an exposure to that particular segment. Journey becomes easier when you're open to new things. Like for example, when motherhood happened to me, it wasn't that I was not open to doing an ops and a sales role, but just that it kind of struck me that I could uh, move into audit or maybe behavioral and functional trainings, so that I get a hang of that area also in banking.
Banking is no longer just about numbers or operations, right? Today, banking is about decision making, adaptability to technology, communication, and the most important is the trust. There are 3 points that is not compromisable, right? First is your consistency, right? In not just in banking, I believe it is true for any sphere of life. People notice those who can be trusted repeatedly. So consistency is the important thing. Second is the learning mindset, right? Automation, AI, regulations, customer expectations. These are all continuous things that evolve. You have to have a learning mindset. Otherwise, you will perish to the competition. Third is ownership, right? Concept that I really like about is a book called A Linchpin by Seth Godin, right? It speaks about idea of becoming indispensable, right? Not by working the long hours, but by bringing initiatives, solving problems, improving things, right? Creating value beyond your job description, right? Don't just do the assigned work, right? Become the person that people come to you, looking up to you when the things are not clear, and they reach out to you because of your consistency and your learning mindset. You have established yourself that, okay, this is a person who can solve this problem.
Very important too, you have to have a proactive approach, positive attitude. Whatever we have learned from FIIB, I know so many marketing people and service people are always saying, you come up with a solution, whether it is call from boss, whether it is call from your customer, whether it is call from your colleague. Always you should be come forward and give us solutions, and don't come up with a problem manager. Quick learner. You should be a quick learner. You have a proactive approach. Time management is play very vital role on particular these 2-3 parameters. You should be a very particular. Now these days are very knowledgeable and very enthusiastic about the banking. You should listen properly. Whatever they are asking problem, whatever they are asking for any issues, you have to become a good listener. First you become a good listener, then only you can communicate properly, then only you can solve the issues. AI will not do personal touch. Human interference is always important for any aspect wherever you go. Relationship management will continue the banking sector.
Develop your mindset. Now it is a time for you to harness your competency, right? So you need to develop your competency. While you're developing your competency, nothing stops you to develop your mindset as well, right? So mindset, the right mindset, as I said, your endeavor should be to become an indispensable guy, right? So that mindset is very important. So the only thing that I used to see in a person, they're coming from a CA background, right? They're chartered, they're CFAs, right? I am not questioning them on their knowledge. They have the knowledge. That is why they are sitting in front of me, right? I'm not looking into their knowledge. I'm looking into their mindset, right? I give them problems, how they come back. If you want to really crack into something, one is your academics is non-compromisable. You have to do that. Making yourself aware of what is happening around the world. Focus on developing your mindset. One of our favorite teacher was Abhijit sir. He simply said, follow economic times. That was, and I still do that. So it makes you, I think that is enough for a student. Information is available, right? You can consume any amount of information that you want, right? Knowledge alone is not going to solve your problems, right? Knowing how to use that knowledge to solve a problem, that is your mindset.
Problem solving ability, that's extremely important. I'm just trying to think from a fresh postgraduate point of view, or somebody who is just finishing the course and looking to go into corporate. For them, problem solving might look very different, but when you're sitting for an interview, are you really listening to the questions and really applying all your studies? For them, that's the problem solving for that particular day. And that can only happen when you have researched well the sector you are looking to target or the interview you are going for. Well research your job description, those companies, the parallel companies, what they are doing, where they are investing, what are the new technology they are adopting. I think that's something that it is very important. Everybody should prepare that how you are going to be different from anybody else. What do you bring to a table which interviewer will get interested into. Considering the kind of a competition we have right now to get into a good organization with a good role or a good pay, I think, and when especially everybody is pass out with the MBA program, you have to compete somewhere. I would not say that immediately they have to compete with some of the big names like IIMs, ISB and all of that, but at some point in time you will find yourself competing with them in the organization, right? So honing those skills of problem solving, articulating well, and the third would be that what you bring to a table, how you are differentiating yourself from others, and really showcasing that in your communication. Don't beef up your CV too much, with a lot of information or the keywords which you can pick from internet. Really put what you can really talk about and really can showcase in your personality. Somebody who just passing the education, they're going to their education and they're just coming for an interview. For them, their projects, their research work, and what they have spend time doing beyond their curriculum is something what they should focus on. That, as I said, how you articulate, how you ensure that learning you could apply into the corporate, how you are able to articulate that aspect is very key. And that's what we look at whenever I go for any interview to IIMs, ISB or BITS Pilani in recent times have been. I think that's the aspect we look at, because these two institutes are already bringing the student to the level wherein they can answer all those difficult questions or the technical questions of it, right? So I think those are the things which we definitely look. And the last thing I would say, as I mentioned earlier as well, problem solving. If any situation-based question has been given, how would you articulate that?
See, for a fresher, you probably wouldn't have much of a corporate problems that you could mention in your CV. The best bet is your projects, your summer training, any during the course you might have taken any assignments that you feel is worth about that position. Do mention that. Try to keep your CV very short. Listen to the questions, think through before even jumping into answering it, and then practice your answers to be structured, right? Keep it very sharp, concise. In HSBC now is like we have this on-demand video, right? So there is a screening that happens after your CV has been shortlisted. You will receive a link, and then you will have a set of questions that will be real time, and you will have to record that and record it within the HSBC systems, right? The screening is becoming more automated or more structured, right? And then at the same time when it is happening, so your responsibility to enrich yourself becomes more competent, or you're not answering your questions thoughtfully. Probably a person who is looking into your video, he has got enough of time. He is going to analyze everything, right?
For fresh graduates, obviously the CV shortlisting, etc., is done on the basis of the academic records and the projects that they've undertaken. But more than that, we'd look at their persona, the digital adaptability, relationship management, or ethical decision making. Or given a hypothetical situation, how would they react to a problem? So, of course, the problem-solving mechanism is something that me and my team per se would really look at.
Now, this thing is now people are not taking. Just they are taking right away through your quantitative exam, reasoning test, and interview sessions. So, more easier now these days. If I would like to say banking. So when I started my banking career, that time only 3 to 4 MNC was there and 2 to 3 private banks are there. Now you can see the changes. So many banks and so many financial institutions are now coming up. But the whole thing is your aptitude, your approach, and then your perseverance. These 3 things are very important.
Something that you took too seriously during your MBA?
Being available in class all the time.
Grades leading to the confidence that you have to have to apply to a certain organization. The relationships, of course, you need to build relationships in banking because banking has digitalized and everything, but trust is only on people. That's very important. So all three, I think, is like a loop.
After an MBA, capability or adaptability?
Adaptability, because adaptability will obviously lead to capability.
One thing that your younger self at FIIB would never have believed about your current life?
Communication, I would say that where I am right now has a large part combination of two things: ability to communicate, articulate, and confidence that I can do it. I didn't have that, so as I said, that I regret I could have thought about this much earlier.
Banking is not just one profession, it is many different careers inside one ecosystem. Some journeys are built through customer relationships and branch leadership, some through analytics, finance and planning, some through operations, regulation, technology. And what connects them all is continuous learning as the industry evolves. I hope today's session helped all of our audience members think about getting into banking, less and more about understanding which kind of banking journey fits them, and especially what they want to become.